Have you ever felt like a prisoner inside your own mind, as if relentless thoughts just wouldn't give you a break? Caleb, 36, used to wake up every day with his mind in total chaos. Thoughts like, what if everything goes wrong today? Would eat him alive before he even had his first coffee. But one day, exhausted, he stopped, took a deep breath, and said to himself, I am not my thoughts. That simple phrase didn't silence his mind right away, but it opened a moment of peace where there used to be nothing but noise. He started repeating it every time his mind screamed. Little by little, the anxiety lost its grip. What about you? Have you ever tried saying something like that to your mind? Drop a comment. What phrase calms you down when everything seems to fall apart? Luis Otavio, 36, felt suffocated by catastrophic thoughts. When he realized he was believing everything his mind created, he paused and told himself, this is just a thought, not a fact. Every time anxiety attacked, he remembered that not everything that pops up in your mind is true. And you, have you ever confused thoughts with reality? Share your experience in the comments. David, 31, felt like his mind was a battlefield. Always on alert, always afraid. Until one day, he reminded himself, my mind is trying to protect me, but I am safe now. He thanked his mind for the warning, but decided to take the wheel. Gradually, he felt the control coming back to his own hands. Have you ever managed to talk to your mind like that? Write your attempt at self-dialogue here. Sophia, 38, used to get stuck in cycles of worry, analyzing scenarios that never actually happened. She realized that overthinking was just stealing her peace. She would repeat to herself, overthinking when to change what I can to control. That phrase became her mantra. And you, have you noticed how much time you waste trying to control the uncontrollable? Tell us your story. Alice, 32, always feared the what-ifs, until she learned, even if it happens ... I'll deal with it. The power in that phrase set her free. It was no longer about predicting, but about trusting herself. Have you ever felt lighter after accepting you can handle the unpredictable? Share your experience. Jonas, 29, struggled with repetitive and painful thoughts. One day, tired of all the resistance, he said, the thought can stay, but I choose not to fight it. He stopped wrestling, and only then did he start to feel relief. Have you ever tried to stop fighting your own mind? Tell us in the comments what happened. Why does your anxious mind never completely turn off? Lara, 35, lived with the feeling that her mind never gave her a break. She realized her anxiety was like an alarm, always expecting the worst. When she understood this, she started to observe without reacting. Do you feel like your mind is always on? Tell us about it. How do your thoughts create realities that never actually happen? Pedro, 42, spent his life anticipating disasters. One day, he realized that most of them never even came true. Still, he suffered for situations that only existed in his mind. Have you ever suffered over something that only existed in your head? Share your story. The difference between accepting and surrendering to anxiety can be subtle, but it changes everything. Marina, 27, used to think that accepting her anxiety meant giving up, until she realized that acceptance means acknowledging, not surrendering. Have you ever confused acceptance with weakness? Talk about it in the comments. The illusion of control. Why does overthinking keep you stuck? Diego, 33, believed that if he thought through every possibility, he'd be safe. But he only ended up more tired and anxious. He discovered that the need for control was his own prison. Do you also feel that overthinking keeps you stuck? The vicious cycle between thoughts, fear, and behavior can completely consume someone's life. Rita, 48, realized that every anxious thought led to fear, which made her avoid situations, and that only fueled more negative thinking. When she finally broke the cycle by facing a small fear, she felt freer. Have you ever broken a cycle like this? When your mind becomes your enemy, the inner war nobody sees. Joe, 39, looked calm on the outside, but inside he was fighting a silent battle. His biggest struggle was with his own thoughts. That war only got easier when he started talking about it. Have you ever felt this invisible war? Let it out here. The truth about intrusive thoughts that nobody ever told you. Camila, 34, suffered from thoughts that made her doubt herself. She discovered they're far more common than she imagined and that they don't define her. Did you know that? Share how you feel. Your brain in survival mode. The alarm never turns off. Matius, 41, felt his body constantly on high alert. He discovered that his mind was programmed to look for danger, even in safe situations. Does this happen to you too? Yes or no? Chronic anxiety, the invisible pain of an overactive mind. Priscilla, 37, looked fine on the outside, but inside her mind was a storm. No one saw her silent suffering except herself. Have you ever felt that pain that nobody else sees? The silence that terrifies, when everything around you is quiet, but your mind is screaming. Bruno, 28, only found noise inside his own thoughts, even in the deepest silence. He realized that sometimes the mind is just begging for attention. The anxious mind's paradox: the more you fight, the worse it gets. Larissa, 30, tried everything to silence her anxiety, but it only got stronger. She discovered that letting go of control was the path to peace. Does that make sense to you? How to stop believing everything your mind says. Raphael, 43, realized that many of his thoughts were twisted by fear. He learned to question them, not obey them. Have you ever challenged your thoughts? Tell us in the comments how it went. Radical acceptance, the shortest path to quieting chaos. Victoria, 39, accepted that her mind didn't need to be perfect. She embraced the chaos and in that act found calm. Have you ever tried acceptance instead of fighting? Share your story. Your mind can be cruel, but you're not alone in this fight. In every comment and every story, there is someone searching for relief, and maybe you will find answers in someone else's words. Never forget, no matter how dark the night feels, light can return. You are not alone. Leave your story here and help someone find hope. Now, I want to give you some practical tips you can start using right now based on what you've learned in this video. Pick one phrase that really touched you and repeat it to yourself every time your mind starts screaming. Make it a silent ritual until anxiety begins to fade. When you notice you're caught in a loop of repetitive thinking, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and observe the thought as if it were a cloud passing in the sky. Don't fight it, just notice it. Write down your anxious thoughts in a notebook. Often when we put them on paper, we realize they're not as powerful as they seem. Share your experiences and strategies in the comments. When you share your pain, it gets lighter and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Try moments of silence and mindful breathing before bed. This can help your mind slow down and bring peace to your body. Remember, small daily practices, repeated with intention, can truly change your relationship with your own mind. If this video helped you in any way, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content. And send this video to that friend who also needs some relief from anxiety. Sharing might be someone's hope. Oh, and I'm leaving another video for you in the description and in the card. The hidden link between your anxiety and your gut, what no one ever told you. Watch it, because understanding the connection between body and mind could be your next step toward a lighter, healthier life. Here on Silent Wounds, no one has to fight alone. Leave your comment, share your pain, and remember, there's hope even on the darkest nights. With love, Elena Gray. See you in the next video. A new video every day, just for you.